My 54-year-old female husband, 50-year-old male, has been going to our neighbor, 34-year-old female, for advice, and it makes me uncomfortable plus updates. Original post. My husband, Jack, has been spending a lot of time with our neighbor, Sophie. It is worth noting that Jack and Sophie had an affair when she was 19. He was with his ex, and she was with an ex-boyfriend at the time. Sophie is a widow as her husband died in 2021. Jack and I also married in 2021. Jack and Sophie remained friendly after their affair, partly because their daughters were and still are friends. They've been best friends since primary school. Jack and I have been having some issues in our marriage, and we have been going to counseling for the past 6 months. I brought up in counseling that his friendship with Sophie makes him uncomfortable because he had previously had an affair with her. Jack argued that she is just a friend and that neither of them have those feelings anymore, nor is Sophie interested in having a romantic relationship because no one compares to her late husband. That is apparently something she has said to him after he suggested setting her up on a date with a younger coworker who had expressed an interest in her. There's a lot of crossover between her job and his, which is part of the reason they remain close. In our last session, Jack admitted that he'd been going to Sophie for her advice. He's been going to her to get advice on a relationship as well as an issue with his daughter. The issue with his daughter, I understand because it is something that Sophie has experience with, and she had a unique perspective that really did help him. The fact they have been discussing our relationship, I don't feel comfortable with. Jack has been really dismissive about it, arguing that it's the same as me going to my sister for advice. It's not the same. He had an affair with this woman. I recently saw Sophie in the local coffee shop and she was friendly with me, asking how I was doing and if my stepdaughter was doing better. I asked her if something was going on between her and Jack. She denied that anything was going on between her and Jack. I asked her to stop giving Jack advice because it's damaging our relationship. Sophie said that she wasn't going to stop giving her friend advice and that it wasn't her fault that I was insecure in my relationship, but that she doesn't see Jack as anything as a friend despite what I think. Sophie reiterated several times that she was just friends with Jack and that she isn't that troubled teenager who had an affair with a married man anymore, and that she didn't want to implode her life again. When I got home, I told Jack that I didn't want him to see Sophie anymore. Jack argued with me, saying he wasn't going to stop seeing Sophie when nothing is going on between them. He offered to show me his texts with Sophie, but I told him that I didn't trust him not to delete any texts that he knew would upset me. Jack got frustrated and told me I was being ridiculous by accusing him of being deceitful. When his daughter came home, she was upset because Sophie had texted her daughter after our conversation and told her to come straight home as she didn't want her daughter to get pulled into whatever is going on between Jack and I like she had been. His daughter was angry and accused me of ruining her friendship before storming up to her bedroom. So Jack is also angry with me about that. I'm just not sure what else to do. Is there anything I can do? The fact he is constantly going to a woman he had an affair with for advice is just making me feel uncomfortable, and nothing he does feels reassuring. Now for the updates. Updates 1. We were meant to go to a counseling session this morning. However, Jack had canceled the session and any further sessions. Jack does not want to continue counseling as he has filed for divorce. He said it was something he had been considering for a while. Apparently, when he had gone to talk to Sophie the first time, it was to get her recommendation for a divorce lawyer, but she had tried to convince him that we just needed to work out our issues. Jack said that he told her that he had lost trust in me, and nothing we did was fixing it. The way I've been acting over him, and Sophie also cemented that to him. She gave him the name of a friend who is a divorce lawyer, but told him that he was making a mistake. It turns out that when Sophie's daughter didn't come to our house as planned after school, it was because Jack had told Sophie he had planned to tell me about the divorce that evening. He backed out on telling me after his daughter came home upset, not wanting to rock the boat with her. My conversation with Sophie was just the excuse she used. If I'm honest, I still don't trust that nothing has been going on between them. The whole thing between them is weird, but my marriage is over, so what they do isn't my problem. I'm not going to fight to be with someone who lies to my face and states they don't trust me. Update 2. Jack and I are getting divorced after 2 years of marriage. Jack has 2 children, but this concerns his daughter, Ella, who is 15 years old female. The day Jack told me he wanted a divorce, we told the children after school. Ella was upset when she found out we are divorcing and went to her room. She came down after tea when it was just me and her in the house. Jack and his son had gone out. She asked me why her dad and I were getting a divorce and wanted to know if it was because of her. Ella has struggled with an eating disorder, and while it caused some strain because we couldn't agree on how to help Ella, it is not the reason. I told Ella that she and her brother are not the reason for the divorce, but her best friend, Imogen, whose mom, Sophie, had an affair with Jack when she was 19. When the affair was exposed, Sophie's life basically imploded, while Jack pretty much remained the same. Just to state, Imogen is not Jack's daughter. They're friends now, but after the affair, it would just be polite in the street and became friendlier over the years as the girls became close friends at school. I told Ella that Jack's continued friendship with Sophie and running to her for advice is why we're getting divorced. Ella asked if Jack was having an affair with Sophie. I told her that Jack was denying having an affair with Sophie again, but I suspected it. She asked what I meant by it. Again, I told her that Sophie and Jack had an affair when Jack was married to her mom. Ella has not been speaking to Jackson. In her conversation, she has also lashed out at Imogen, telling her that her mom is the reason her family is falling apart. They got into a physical fight at school, which resulted in both Jack and Sophie getting called in to talk about it. In the meeting, Ella told them everything I told her the night before and blamed Sophie for ruining her family again. Jack told her that Sophie isn't the reason. Jack told Ella the reason for the divorce is because he no longer trusted me because of a mistake I had made, which had sent us to therapy. Monster therapy weren't able to repair his trust in me. After Jack and Ella came home, she's now not talking to me either. Jack is furious that I said anything to Ella and that I ruined Ella's friendship with Imogen. Jack snapped that it was not my place to say anything to Ella. He was angry that I was still stuck on his friendship with Sophie and continues to maintain nothing is going on. He told me that Imogen had told Sophie in the meeting that she wants to move to a new school, but no one knows her mom is and that was my fault. Am I the Ella asked me for a reason, and I told her I do believe Sophie is the true reason, as the relationship between them is weird. Someone asked for some info on this story that Namish said info. What is the mistake that caused you to go to therapy? OP says I kissed another man on a night out with my sister and some friends. One of our friends told him before I was able to. It was a stupid mistake, but I've been enjoying the attention after feeling neglected by Jack. Reader says that you cheated but then told his daughter that him cheating years earlier in a different relationship was the reason for the divorce. If he says yes, I did. I've suspected it for a while that he and Sophia are in an affair. His relationship with her has made me uncomfortable long before we started therapy. He runs to her for advice, including about our relationship. I did bring this up in therapy, but he has constantly denied anything going on between them. OP then adds one more update and says this blew up more than I thought it would. Both Ella and her brother were aware of the kiss. They were there when Jack was told. I referred to it as a mistake as that is what Jack refers to it as. He said that he didn't consider the kiss to be cheating because I was drunk. I've moved out of the house since I made this post, and I'm now staying with my sister until I find a place of my own. At the weekend, Ella reached out to Imogen and apologized for lashing out at her at school. It looked like they've made up as illustrator images over the weekend. Before she left, I apologized to Ella and told her that I shouldn't have dragged her into this. Ella told me that she would never forgive me, especially for damaging her friendship with Imogen, and she is glad that her dad is divorcing me. I offered to pay for the girls to do something together, but Ella refused, saying she didn't want to take my dirty money. I apologized to Jack, who told me it was Sophie who needed the apology, not him, as it was her life I had tried to ruin without a shred of evidence. I tried telling him that I just didn't believe that he and Sophie wouldn't have an affair, and he snapped telling me there is nothing going on with Sophie, and she had actually just started seeing someone. He found out about this because she went to him for advice, as he's the only person she knows who's also lost a spouse and dated again. He then told me that he wanted me to move out as Ella told him that she wasn't going to return home while I was still here. So yeah, I've destroyed my relationship with Jack and his children because I was insecure to my own doing. I am the a-hole. Story 2. My wife married me because of my best friend plus update. Original post. Sounds fake. Sounds like drama script. Don't screwing care. I need to get it out somewhere or I'm going to go nuts. We are from the same high school. Apparently my wife had a huge crush on my best friend since junior high, and my best friend knew about this. Back to my story. It's been 10 years since we got married, and she still loves him. That makes it 10 plus years of one-sided love from her to him, and 12 years of my one-sided love to her. She only got close to me and dated me so she could be in touch with my best friend. She wanted to be a part of his life, no matter what, so she chose me as a scapegoat. And here I thought she loved me. How did I find this out? She told me 3 weeks ago. Why did she tell me? Because I decided we were ready for a child and brought up the discussion over dinner. She told me she could make love with me, she could marry me, and even act like she loved me and obviously did a pretty damn good job at it. But she can't bear to give birth to a child that is mine and not his. She can't give birth to a child who looks like me and not him. So she can't have my child. Then she left me. That day, she didn't even say sorry. Not that it will make it any better, but she did say she did her best. Did her best, and this is what it is. That's the end of the story. I have no more to tell. She just left and is not picking up my calls, emails, texts, or whatever way of contacting her. I haven't reached out to my best friend either. I know they are not together. Actually, maybe I'll be happy for her if she does end up with him at this point. And here I am, not even feeling anything, and I'm not sure if this is normal. This feels like a whole big play. I'm not even sure if I even put this right in text. I'm sorry. This is a mess. Now for the updates. Update 1. Thank you all for your concerns. Just to clear things up. 1. We did talk about kids before this. Couple times actually, but I wasn't very serious about it until now. She said she wasn't really into having kids yet, and she just wanted to enjoy ourselves when we could. I didn't know that would mean so differently to her. 2. She made it clear that she isn't seeking any relationship with my friend. She told me that she doesn't really imagine having a relationship with him, and that will be how it is for whoever knows how long. I know this sounds weird, but she told me that this whole one-sided love is a bit of a permanent habit of hers that she can't get rid of. Ever. I don't know if she seek therapy for this because I was out of my mind at the time to even ask about some of the questions I have and want her to answer. 3. Divorce. I'm not sure how I will be dealing with this. I really love this girl. This woman. To sound even more crazy, I still do. No, I don't intend to continue this marriage. This marriage was meant to break from the very start now that I think about it. I'm just really tired at the moment to even seek an attorney, psychiatrist, or therapist. I know I am also weird, but I want to talk to her first before doing things legally. There are still many things I want to ask her, talk about, hear about, and be mad about. But I just can't do any of it right away. 4. My buddy probably doesn't know that she still has feelings. Who would have known that a person could have one-sided feelings towards someone for over a decade? I don't intend on talking about it to him until some of the things are cleared up on my side. Thank you again for your care. I'm sorry I can't give the best response at the moment. Update 2. Hi all. Hopefully you have been well. Thank you all for your kind and comforting words. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure if this is an update or not, but I'm in a better mental state today. So let me get some stuff out. Let's get this started. It's long, and even though I am in a better mental state, I may not put these words together as I wanted to be since I have so much to say. There are lots of TMIs in this post. Excuse my grammar as well. Let's start with my wife, or what kind of a person she was first. My wife, for one, is a good person, or was a good person. At least the person who I was with would be viewed as a good person from a social perspective. I'm not saying this to protect her. I'm giving you an idea of how people would view her in general if you knew her. She can't pass by homeless people without giving them anything out of her purse. She can't let a friend be sad and would do anything she can to comfort them. She is full of emotions, empathy, sympathy, love, and etc. She volunteers every weekend for seniors and homeless people. Many more could be listed, but you get my point. She was pretty attractive too. That's why I fell in love with her. She was a charming, smart, and kind person. A dream girl. I wouldn't have asked for anyone else. We were all friends, as I have mentioned, and when she showed interest in me, I also eventually grew feelings for her pretty quick. Why would I hesitate? Like I said, she was like a dream girl to a man, at least to me. For all I know, I was her first guy. She didn't ever sleep with another guy, and that I know for sure. Her family was strict, and she lived with them until marriage, so I wouldn't say she really had a chance to get physical with someone. So yes, I'm her first guy. I wouldn't in a million years would suspect that all those times together were a lie. Well, she did a goddamn good job at keeping that dirty secret of hers. I was devoted to making this woman happy. I would have died to save this woman if I had to. I loved her to the core, every inch of her. I did everything to make her happy. That's why it hurts so much right now being betrayed. Or was it really a betrayal if she never loved me in first place? Because I sincerely thought she loved me. I mean, how would anyone pretend to ask for a kiss, hug, and affection to someone for 10 plus years if they never loved them? Would you really want to cuddle up with a man who you never loved? Would you really want to share the same bed with a man who you never loved? Would you really want to hold someone's hand you never really loved? Would you really want to legally be married to a man who you never loved? Can you really look into their eyes and say you love them with someone you never loved? For real? For over a decade? Really? Can someone be this good at acting? Wouldn't there have been at least tiniest inch of me in her heart, reserved with feelings? Did she really, I mean really, never love me? Even once? For real? Not even once? Yes, I am probably in denial, and I probably will be for a long time. Because apparently you can do all those shit without actually loving them. Which I still can't believe. Now the update with my current situation. I got up with my buddy last night and asked him what's new, drank a bit, and finally, I brought this conversation up. It wasn't easy to bring it up. I mean, to put it in literal text, my wife married me because she loved you. He was shocked, of course. It's probably just as much as I was. He didn't know what to say for a long time. It seems like she never contacted him, even after she left. With that, to my surprise, other than our small dinner gatherings together that happened sometimes, she never really contacted him personally. To be honest, she didn't really join those dinner gatherings much either. I asked him, "Did my wife ever say that she had feelings for you?" To that, he mentioned, "A long time ago, yes, she did say she had feelings for me. But that was like more than a decade ago, long before you two were dating, when we were all young and dumb. We talked for a long time about a lot of things, mostly about our past, our school years, college years, life, everything. And now, here I am, feeling guilt. I feel guilty to the point. It hurts my guts. He didn't have to be involved in this messy story, but my selfish ass decided it was a good idea to talk to him about it. I regret it. He said sorry, even though it was not his fault. I'm a terrible person for this. As for my wife, we are meeting up in 2 weeks. If you ask why in 2 weeks, she left an email saying she is at another country because she also felt like she needed to go off to somewhere to put things together and will return in 2 weeks. If you ask why I'm meeting up with her, she asked if it is okay with me. She wants to meet up for a talk. I agreed to it. I have lots of things to ask her. I haven't really had proper sleep for weeks. I'm tired. I'm sorry for the rant. I didn't mean to. Forgive me. Thank you for hearing me out again. Best wishes to you all. Final update. Hello to all. It's been quite a while since my last post. Things took a turn in a big way during that couple months. Some kind people sent messages asking me how I was doing and what was happening. I couldn't answer any of it because I was too devastated to answer. So here is my update. To make things short, my wife died and I am a widower. You may say what the screw after reading this, but she died and it was a suicide. We met shortly after the email she sent me. Believe it or not, it wasn't pretty. I thought I could keep myself together, but I ended up being hideous. Never have I cried so much in my life, and never have I been so used in my life. I honestly, sincerely, deeply felt the meaning of betrayal. My conversation with her was basically a repeated routine of why did you do this to me? How could you do this to me? Why did you marry me? And why now you have chosen to reveal this to me? She didn't really give a clear answers to my questions. She was mostly quiet, and she only gave answers that made me even more emotional. One thing I do remember her saying was, "I'm sorry." After some more of meaningless conversations, I said I wanted a divorce. Not loving me was one thing, but to deceive me for a decade is another. She agreed to it. Since we needed a year of separation before marriage, we got separated, and that was it. I told her to sincerely screw off and never show herself in front of me ever again. And she died. A week after she left, I got a phone call from my mother-in-law alerting me that she died. She took a pill and didn't wake up again. She didn't leave any note or any messages to anyone. She just left for good. And that was all. Funeral took place, but I couldn't go. My best friend went. And with that, I hope she is happy with that. It's been 3 months since she died. A deep trauma has been placed inside me, and I have been seeking therapy since. Hasn't got better, but with that, I am functioning as a bare minimum of human being at least. I don't think I'll ever find absolution from this incident. My life has been turned apart, and my entire self can't function as it used to. I'm not even sure if I have put this post in a righteous form that would make sense. If it's a mess, I'm sorry. This was the best I could do. Some may find my story disturbing, or some even may find it made up. I don't really mind if you find it as a lie. I myself have a hard time believing this and am still processing. I guess I will never find out what her true feelings were and what she wanted to do with me. But if one of her goals was to haunt me for the rest of my life, she did a goddamn good job of that. This is the last post I will ever make and will ever post. There is no meaning in life anymore for me, but I will have to go on. I really appreciate your concerns and kindness through the past 3 months. I wish you all well. Thank you. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for ordering a giant steak against my mother-in-law will, actually eating it, and refusing to cover the entire bill? This is ridiculous, and I can't believe I have to ask if I'm the asshole. But here we go. I, 27-year-old female, have been together with my husband Nate for over 10 years, and married for 4. I don't have the best relationship with my mother-in-law, as she always seemed to police what I eat. Everyone in my family have fast metabolism. I am also working with horses, so do this burn a lot of calories, talking about 2.53 a day, and usually have rather large meals to get the energy back, and I still remain skinny. Now, to the event. My in-laws invited me and Nate for dinner last Friday. I was very busy back then and haven't eaten since about 6-7 a.m. and also didn't have a chance to have a snack before heading to the restaurant, so I was starving. I usually have something to eat before seeing my mother-in-law to avoid her comments. Due to this, I have ordered a large steak at the restaurant, which was meant for 2 people. It also came with prawns, bacon, and 2 sides. Please note it was not the most expensive item on the menu, as some of my in-laws had significantly pricier dishes, and we were all splitting the bill anyway. My mother-in-law started making comments how I shouldn't be ordering what I can't eat, since even her husband wouldn't be able to finish the dish, let alone someone my size. I smiled and said I haven't eaten since early morning and am starving. If I don't finish the steak, I will take the leftovers home. I have easily finished the steak and was waiting for my dessert when my mother-in-law flipped. She said I have attention-seeking and was putting on a show. She also said I have made my father-in-law and brother-in-law feel uneasy, and that a woman shouldn't eat that much, it is unhealthy, and something is wrong with me. She has then demanded me and Nate to cover the entire bill, as she wasn't planning on such a big expenditure. I said we are absolutely not covering the entire bill, since it was meant to be split equally, and reminded her of the dishes she ordered that were significantly more expensive compared to my steak, including her starter. As a result, I was called an asshole who has ruined a family dinner. Nate is on my side, but most of my in-laws are making very passive-aggressive posts on social media about it and keep sending me different articles of what might cause excessive eating. Now for the advices. Not the a-hole. I hope you stared your mother-in-law dead straight in the eyes as you took the last bite of your steak, and as she ate, the mother-in-law unwittingly witnessed a feminist revolt being unleashed as a mere woman ate more than the men. Then, mother-in-law gasps and withers away in misogyny as OP heads to her happily ever after. That's all for today. If you are enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below.